Okay, welcome everybody back to Steve Talks Boxing X, STBX, where we talk real boxing with real boxing fans. And welcome to the Roundup Show with Darren, October show. In this show, we're going to talk about all the past highlights of this month in boxing. And joining me, of course, is Frank Warren. Darren Aston. Thanks, Darren, for coming back on.
Cheers, Steve. Great to be on to talk boxing again.
Yep. Yeah, sorry about the Frank. It's just that
that's right.
Sounding like him a bit recently, so just a slip of words, I think. There, straight into it. Yeah, straight into it. Looking at the boxing review of this month, who was your fighter of the month in October?
Well, I can't think of anyone really than Liam Cameron to come from where he's been to get his great performance he put against Ben Whittaker. Yep, there he is.
Why is that? Is that just on the performance, or do you feel a bit sorry for him? Or
no. It was his good performance. Obviously, he stole the headlines for his performance against Ben Whittaker. He was an underdog, and I think coming out of that fight, he got his deal with Frank Warren and Queensberry, which I think was he's been looking for that for a long time to get a promotional deal with someone like them. And I think he deserves all the plaudits for the way he handled himself after the fight as well.
Yeah.
Because I can see why he was very annoyed and that, which obviously we'll come to more about. But yeah, I think from where he's come from,
yeah,
for the demons he had in his life, I think he definitely deserves it.
Yeah, he certainly had a great story, great turnaround now for him. And with this Whittaker fight just happening, if anything, it's propelled him a bit higher up, isn't it? Like I said, Frank signed him now as well. So it can only mean, good future fights for him, surely.
Yeah, I really hope he gets the rematch as well. I hope once Ben Whittaker gets over his so-called injury, that the rematch can happen, and Ben Shalom will also allow Whittaker to take the rematch with Cameron. And like I say, I think like Liam Cameron, his road back from where he was to sort of like getting his promotional deal now, I think it's brilliant for him. And I think when I looked at this, I thought I was looking at all the fighters that could have had this month. I thought Liam Cameron deserves it.
Yeah. I don't blame you. He's had, like I said, a remarkable story, remarkable turnaround. Obviously fighting on these cards now, and based on that, obviously he's got a signing from Frank Warren as well. So good luck to him, I say. So, and hopefully we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully we can get that rematch as well. So obviously Liam Cameron is your fighter of the month. But what was the fight of the month for you? Or was that an obvious question? Is that?
Yeah, I think you probably know the answer to this one. I think you've got to go Beterbiev and Bivol. It was a very, very highly skilled fight. I mean, there they are in the exchange. There.
Yeah.
It was a very highly skilled fight for me. Exciting to watch. There weren't no knockdowns or anything like that, but it was just two of the best putting it all on the line. And I think after 12 rounds, we could have all watched another 12 of it, no problem.
Yeah,
great fight, and I hope again we get to see this again, because if it's anything like the first one, it'll be super to watch again.
Yeah, did you agree with the result in the end? I had it. I'll be honest with you. I had it a couple of rounds to Bivol. So
yeah, I think when I watched it back again, like I do a lot of fights when there's anything close, and I actually had Bivol winning by, I think it was by 1 round or 2.
Yeah.
But a draw probably wouldn't have been a bad result, but we'll come on to the old. I'll have my Frank Warren rant after.
We'll get scorecards. We'll build up for your rant anyway. But yeah, you're right. It is a great fight, and I think it was a fight for the boxing purists as well, because, like you said, both of them were very technical, but it still made a great fight. Sometimes you get two technical guys and the fight doesn't really light up and doesn't catch.
Yeah.
But it was a boxing purist, and it's at its highest standard, wouldn't it? Really,
it was a great fight.
Yeah,
back and forth, and you can say like some of the rounds were so difficult to score. You can see why it was a bit of a controversial decision. But for me, I didn't really have Beterbiev winning the fight. I had Bivol a draw. I didn't have Beterbiev, but some of the rounds were nip and tuck, to be fair.
Well, with the general consensus, what I would see on social media, it was 2 rounds either way, really. What I saw it. So, but
yeah,
like I said, it depends on so many factors of that fight. What you base them, close rounds.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah, like whether you like the aggressor in the fight or the guy that's like sort of more on the move, jabbing and on the move.
Yeah,
type of fight.
Yeah, definitely. Again, this could be a obvious question to you, Darren, because I know you are in Frank Warren mode or building up to that. Who was your promoter of the month and why?
Well, it's got to be my best mate, isn't it?
Frank, there is.
Yeah,
it's you, Darren.
Yeah. I wish I had his money.
Give it a few years. I think you could be a lookalike.
Hopefully, give me a few more years yet, Christ.
Okay, I'll give you 10.
Yeah. I think for me, like, I feel that Frank's on a roll at the minute. I mean, I know it wasn't for October, but I feel like with the ascendancy he's had with Dubois.
Yeah.
Then he went and signed Fabio Wardley, and he absolutely takes apart Fraser Clark the way he did in one round. I think that's a brilliant signing for him. And when you look at his caliber of heavyweights he's got now, I just think like he's the one leading the way in the UK at the minute, and he's always the main man, putting his names on the Saudi shows for Queensberry Promotions.
Yeah,
so I think. I think he's got to be Frank Warren again. I feel like this year, particularly, I've had Frank Warren as promoter of the month a lot of times, but I think it's thoroughly deserved. I think you've got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah, I think we've touched on this before as well, Darren. Queensberry went through a bad stage. Not many great fights, not many great fighters in their stable, but they've turned it around. I even saw on social media today that Frank signed another boxer coming through as well. So he wants that big stable, doesn't he?
He's rolling the checkbook out for his stars. Yeah, he is definitely.
Yeah, and it's a good thing because you want a big stable to put on good shows. If you've got limited fighters, then your shows may be lacking quality. And Frank is definitely showing the way forward in signing these fighters. So.
Yeah, and that signing of Fabio Wardley as well, to sign him before the Clark fight and then take Fraser Clark apart the way he did. What a signing that is. I mean, Fabio Wardley now, I think he's entered like in the top 10 of quite a few of the governing bodies. So you look at that and think he's got some real big fights coming ahead, Fabio has, and all down to Frankie signing him again.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think, I know obviously Frank's getting on a bit in age now. Probably hate me if you ever watch this. I doubt it, but yeah, he's shown no signs of slowing down, is he, at all? No. So
he's great for his age. I mean, if you said I'll be like him in a few years' time. I mean, I have got 30 odd years left to go, but I'd be happy to look like Frank at his age. Trust me.
Yeah, sure. It must be that Saudi money is making him.
Yeah.
Feel good. Okay, looking at this was quite a big question. Boxing controversy of the month. What would you say that is?
Well, you said controversy. I think it's more controversies.
Multiple.
I feel like we've had a hell of a lot. I mean, first of all, we had the Ben Whittaker incident on the Saudi card.
This bit here, this is the moment.
That's a great shot, that is. I mean,
that's great. Yeah,
that definitely looks like WWE with the referee getting involved as well.
That's like a Royal Rumble over the top.
Definitely, and it looks like the referees. Yeah, it looks like the referee's about to go with him as well in that shot there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first one where.
That then, let's rewind. What's your take on that? So they were leaning on each other. Both went over. Take it from there. What do you think happened, Darren? Your point of view.
I think I don't like to sort of throw fighters under the bus and sort of like say they were cheating or anything like that. But I do feel that Ben Whittaker was tiring in the fight, starting to look very sluggish. And I'm not necessarily saying he grabbed Liam Cameron to take him over the ropes, but I feel like he was holding on a lot and looking for ways out of the fight if he could. It was a very, very strange performance. He didn't look right to me after the first couple of rounds.
Yeah.
So that was very controversial. There's the questions of did he do it deliberate, and then there's the was he injured? I mean, we haven't actually seen as fans any proof of anything yet. We're just taking Ben Shalom's word of it of what the doctors said, so that you've got that part of it. Then,
and what did you? We had the picture of him at the airport with the bandaging around slightly the ankle, I would say. So yeah,
it doesn't. I hold my hands up. I'm a Ben Whittaker fan, but he looked very, very sluggish in that fight, and he's got a hell of a lot to learn. I mean, you've heard people like Dominic Ingle saying about the sparring stories with Liam Williams, where he said after 3 rounds he didn't want to know Ben Whittaker because he come out doing his showboating what he does, and then when he had it put on him in sparring, he didn't like it and he bowed out before the 4th round. Yeah. When you see what happened with that Liam Cameron in that fight, and then you hear the sparring stories, he's got a lot to learn if he's going to go forward in this game and become what potentially a lot of us think he can become.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't like to say it was a cheat or anything like that, but he was looking sluggish and looking tired and looking potentially for a way out to me.
So you're saying Whittaker's mentality, if things are not going his way, he just basically just didn't want to know them.
Yeah, it looks that way. I don't think you can say it any other way. It looks that way. It doesn't look very good at all. And that was the first real signs of it in the pro ring. And when that's happened and you're hearing the sparring stories of the way he can bow out and not, if he ain't getting his own way, he has the pressure put on him. This is boxing. At the end of the day, he ain't going to get away with all them sneaky skills that he does against people that don't sort of hit back. It's only going to go so far. We all know that. And I, for one, was one of them thinking, you're going to see the real Ben Whittaker when he moves forward. But that was poor.
Yeah. Do you think Ben Whittaker quit that fight then? If I want a yes or no answer.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I think he can win the rematch, but he's got to change a lot. He's got to change his mentality a hell of a lot. And then the other. Moving on to the other controversies, it was we had the dodgy scorecard with Beterbiev and Bivol, what we was harping on about before, saying, I think one of them had it 116, 112 for Beterbiev. That was never in a million years for me. No. But I come on your show and I have my Frank Warren rant quite a lot about these scorecards, don't I?
I was about to say, I can feel the Frank Warren coming out in you now, Darren.
I'm gonna leave it today. Now you've called me Frank Warren from the start. Yeah, that was another thing, like dodgy scorecards. That was on the Saudi card as well. And then also on the Saudi card, which I should have done it first before I come to the Beterbiev thing, was we had the Fraser Clark stoppage where Fabio Wardley stopped him, and then we have the Ben Shalom thing saying about the gloves.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was craziness for him to come out and say about. Well, I've called it tomorrow when I speak to people about Glovegate because it's one of them where he's coming out saying about we're having the gloves looked at because they weren't right and all this. But now,
I don't think that. Surely, you're checking the gloves prior to the fight. There'd be adjudicator. Yeah, there'd be adjudicator, and even when someone's in the dressing room when they get their hands wrapped as well. So.
It's standard procedure.
Yeah. So you think that's Ben just, throwing something out there?
Well, what happened was, in my opinion, he was clutching at straws. He admitted his fighter lost fair and square, Fraser Clark. He admitted he lost fair and square, but then he said, but I still, what we need as a promoter, I still need to check things like what the doctor had told him and all this. Because the doctor apparently said, there's no way them gloves could have done the damage to his face, what he did. It was a great shot. There's nothing more to it. It's a great shot.
Yeah.
He's fought a loss fair and square. And then what's happened, in my opinion, is now Frank Warren is sort of saying he's getting the old suing thing out again about I'll sue you and do this. and he'll have to, like, the more he says, the more it's going to cost him. And then all of a sudden, Ben Shalom's starting to backtrack a little bit now because old
Yeah, because
Uncle
I've
Frank's
not
on
heard
his
anything
case.
since. Yeah, I've not heard anything since then. Have you?
No, it's gone quiet.
Yeah.
I think Ben Shalom's going to drop it now, to be honest, because you don't want to be sued by Frankie, does he?
Yeah, it was a bad night for them, wasn't it? Really, looking back at the.
Oh yeah, well, it's been a bad month really for Ben Shalom. He hasn't had a good month at all, and then we're seeing today that they're talking about Chris Eubank could fight Canelo at Wembley.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't see it.
I did call that fight a while ago. I could see it happening. Whether it would sell out Wembley, I don't know. I think a lot of people will go along to see Canelo beat up Eubank. I think.
Well, I think you just hit the nail on the head. Beat him up. For me,
Yeah.
it's a pretty no contest.
Yeah. I'm not sure on Wembley, and I think they're shooting high with this one because also obviously we had Conor Benn come in the ring on the same card as obviously the Saudi card, and when Eubank after they look like they're going to fight next year, but I don't know. So well, I guess we'll wait and see. But I certainly do think boxing needs a Chris Eubank Jr. anyway, because obviously that will be their own pay-per-view. I'm assuming if it's just a pure boxer card. And
well, he has signed him, hasn't he? He has signed him to get big fights, hasn't he? You know.
Yeah, and Sky Sports and you know they need that, don't they? That they need that pay-per-view rather than sharing it all the time with Matchroom and Queensbury all the time. So, but yeah, it's an interesting one, and I think time will tell. I really don't see anything being announced soon. To be honest with you, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah, and to get Canelo in the UK, what sort of money are we talking? Quite a bit.
Well, I feel like it'd have to be a Saudi card or something, but you know, I read that today, and I was looking. I thought I'm not even going to share that because I just think it.
Yeah, I thought the same. Yeah, I thought the same. Okay, moving forward, fights you're looking forward to in November, Darren.
Yeah, we've got some. Like, I mean, there's one coming this Saturday in Birmingham. We've got Liam Davies versus Shabazz Masood. I'm hopefully going to be ringside for that.
Nice.
For the media accreditation, hopefully. Just got to wait to see about that one. And then we've got Sonny Edwards versus Galawi fight, another good fight in Birmingham. Nice card that one is actually.
Yeah.
And then we've also got obviously Billam Smith versus Zerdo as well.
Yeah,
defending his title. So there's some good shows coming forward, and then obviously we move on to the month after, and we've got the massive one that we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, December's a massive month, isn't it? Obviously the rematch going on with Usyk and Fury. Going back to Davis and Masood, obviously got two great builds in the West Midlands again. So. But shame we couldn't get Inoue there at Telford, really. So
yeah, I think that. I mean, we're talking about getting Canelo to Wembley, but getting Inoue to Telford's probably stretching it a little bit.
I know. We can see miracles, and it's heading towards Christmas, that time of miracles. But yeah. I think that would be a big ask anyway. So, but yes,
I do think that. I was just going to say, Steve, I do think Davis and Masood will be a good fight this Saturday. I do think it's a very, very good main event. I think it'll catch fire. Yeah, it's definitely a top. It should be an interesting one. Any quick predictions before we go? Liam Davis late stoppage. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Mid rounds late stoppage for Liam Davis. So that's about it for another month. So thanks, Darren, for coming on. Cheers, mate. Again, appreciate your support with the channel. Everyone, please see if you agree with us with comments, likes and subscriptions, and enjoy the fights.